In this video, I'm going to show you 4 books that are going to instantly improve the quality of your written English when you're writing your personal statement and any essays that you want to write in the future to improve the quality of your written English. Welcome back. For anyone who's new, my name's Dr. Ashley Hilton, and today I'm going to be talking about 4 books that I've discovered that, as soon as I found them, improved dramatically the quality of my written English and were really useful towards writing a really outstanding personal statement. They're also amazing books to develop that skill of writing excellent prose and just good quality written language when you're writing essays in the future. I'll explain exactly how each of them improved my English, but they are really impactful and things that as soon as you've read them and learned the information from them will have an instant impact, because they're just, once they open your eyes to different ways of writing or mistakes that you're making, you automatically will make the changes that will make your English more concise, just better forms and better structured as well. Before we get into what the 4 books are, a couple of things I want you to realize. For sometimes I find it overwhelming when people recommend lots of books to me, because I read quite slowly. I like to take my time with books and really digest the information and take it in. So I've actually put them in order of priority as to how they're going to help your personal statement in particular. Therefore, if you think it's really stressful to have 4 books to order and get through in that time, just take them one at a time and start with the first one that I recommend, and then if you feel like you've got more time or you liked it, just move on to the next one and keep going. And if you find that you get all 4, then that's great, but if not, each one individually will also massively impact how you write your personal statement. The second point is that when I actually discovered these books, there are lots of different versions of each book and there are lots of similar titles by different authors, so don't worry too much about the title and author as I'm going through them. I have linked below to all the books and the direct Amazon link, so you don't have to go worrying about whether you got the right book or go spending hours fishing for the correct version. So you can just follow the links and order them directly from Amazon there. So to me, the first and most important book is this one called Revising Prose. And this looks at sentence structure and goes on a granular level at how you can take a sentence and make the exact same point with fewer words, more concisely and more direct. And what I like most about this book is that the author actually just is able to look at a sentence, cut it up and just put it back together in the most simple way to get the message across effectively. There's a really famous quote by Mark Twain, and he says, "If I had more time, I'd write a shorter letter." And that's because it takes effort and it takes a lot of focus and concentration and actually putting the time in at looking at each sentence as to how you can break it down and say it more effectively. And this book is fantastic for that. It's not really looking at things on a big scale, looking at, large scale structure. It's looking at each individual sentence and how to say it more effectively and more simplistically. And that, especially for your personal statement, is the most important thing. You have what equates to around 500 words to get everything you've ever achieved into that one short page, and you really need to say it efficiently in a simplistic way that gets directly to the point. So this book is really fantastic for that. Another thing that I really love about it is that it's like when you watch, say, a Peter McKinnon video and he teaches you very quickly how to do things, and you leave with that feeling of like, oh, okay, I get it now. I understand straight away the mistakes I'm making or just the steps that I need to take to do it. Just by reading the book, I definitely identified loads of mistakes that I was doing, and because you can immediately draw on experience and they give examples, I could see the things that I've done and it kind of cuts them out straight away. So the book feels really good to read because as soon as your eyes are opened to the mistakes that you're making or to the ways that it should be, you instantly fix the problem. Book number 2 that I'd recommend is this one called The Elements of Style. Now this is, firstly, the reason I put it second is because it's such a small book. You can see it's probably we're looking at 88 pages and the font is massive, so you can get through this one really quickly. Now this is actually a 100-year-old book that was written by a Cornell professor, and it's a very quick and easy book to just essentially get to the very basics of grammar, and it's almost like a blueprint really for writing effectively. It's recommended by Stephen King. He says it's a must read to write effectively, so that comes highly recommended. And also this version that I'm recommending writing, they have recently updated in 2018 to kind of bring it into the 21st century, because it's a 100-year-old book, has a lot of old advice, and a lot of it still holds true today, but some things are a bit outdated, which is why the 2018 version is fantastic, because it's updated and it's modern, and it very much still applies today. The third book that I'd like to show you is this one called Simple and Direct. And this is a great book for looking at elements of writing such as your syntax or your tone. And it's kind of an extended version of the two ones that I looked at before. And it's great again because it gives you examples and ways to really simplify but also improve the kind of character of your writing and your style, really. It's definitely longer than the other two books that I recommended before, which is why it's third on the list, because if you have the time after dissecting the first two to go through something with a few more examples, and you can spend a bit more time digging into the weeds with, then this is a great option. And last but definitely not least, draft number 4 is actually my favorite book from the kind of books on writing category. Now, the reason that I put it number 4th is because it probably applies a little bit less to personal statement writing, maybe a bit more to essay writing, but definitely this is more a book on actually the writing process towards books themselves. Now, why I think it's great though is because he takes you in detail and really goes into depth about his process for writing a non-fiction book, and actually how to weave a narrative into non-fiction. Now, it still has loads of takeaways that I teach to my students when teaching them how to write a personal statement. The main one is when the author talks about how he writes a book, he has this fantastic method of, for every chapter, he has an individual scrapbook, and then for each scrapbook, he will write passages. He's old school, this guy's, I think he's in his 80s now, and he writes passages on a typewriter and cuts them out and prints them on paper. So each paragraph or long passage he'll have on a piece of paper, and then he uses his scrapbook and blue tacks them into the scrapbook so that he can then change around the order in which he's writing it, and you can easily just mix and match and put it in the order that he thinks flows best. Now, I say this to my students when writing their personal statement. Write every point that you want to make. So it could be 3 sentences about a particular element of work experience or an extracurricular activity that you do. I always say, write it on a piece of paper, cut it out, and then you can mix and match them all as to how they will fit into your personal statement. That means that you can, easily change the order and work out the flow of things. You can say if things don't really have a place, and although they're great, they're a bit superfluous, you can throw them out. And then you have a really easy way of ordering your personal statement. And you may have to rewrite it, obviously, so that the tone is continuous throughout and it flows, but at least it's a great starting point to how to order your personal statement and the kind of way points interact with one another and the order in which is best to do them. So there you have it, 4 books to instantly improve your written English, your essay writing, and most importantly, your personal statement. Most of them, at least the first 2, you could definitely read in half a day. In an afternoon, you could probably read the first 2. It's up to you. I've linked to all of them below, so you can buy all of them straight away or just buy them one at a time and see how you go. But definitely take the lessons from each of them, because they will all serve massively to improve the quality of your personal statement. So thanks for watching. I hope that they massively improve your written English and your personal statements, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Therefore, if you only find that you've got